Hey, that's a soda pop from Soda Hughes, and today we are going to open up the fantastic Paintings of Frazetta by David Spurlock. Let's get this open. This is a big book, so I'm gonna do my best to keep it in frame, but some of it might get cut off. There's kind of a cool little quote by Arnold Schwarzenegger on the back. I have not been intimidated that often in my life, but when I looked at Frazetta's paintings, I tell you it was intimidating. There's also a Jason Momoa quote about him being a huge admirer, which I can definitely see being true. There's kind of like a bit of a sheen on kind of the print on here. Let's take a look at the binding. Looks like we got some nice kind of covered thread binding. Ooh. I really like that title. And end paper. Really cool. He always had he has the sickest like signature. It's pretty cool. Oh, we got another title page. Very nice. A lot of title pages with an afterword by Frank Frazetta Jr. Got special thanks to the family. You can see the canvas there. You know, it's interesting with his name. I was trying to read, the Wikipedia page and, learn a little bit more about him. Frazetta is one of my dad's favorite artists. And, as my dad was kind of coming into his own learning art, you could see that he was doing some comic book studies and he was really interested in a lot of that stuff. And, he still to this day sometimes talks, you should check out Frazetta again. I think it's one of his favorites. But Frazetta, I do believe it's an Italian name, used to have another Z in there, according to the article I was reading, and he got rid of one of the Z's because he felt his name was a little too clumsy, which I can kind of sympathize with. My true government last name is Di Donato, and a lot of people struggle with it. Whenever I go to pay rent, the lady says, "Oh, you're the one with the crazy name." Some people try and argue, like, when you're a child of an immigrant, it's not fair that you have to mark white on papers and stuff. I don't really care. I know that, I am white and I do definitely benefit in many situations from color of my skin. So that's a completely different issue. But there are some things that, movies and TV and stories, memories of people who also are, children of immigrants or in immigrant families. A lot of that stuff really does resonate with me, and I love a lot of that stuff. And sometimes, some of that will come out of, kind of maybe Korean family things or Indian things, or sometimes Mexican stories and media and stuff, and I'll go like, oh, I feel that. It's hard to explain. Just one thing. My family ate pasta a lot. I thought that was normal. It was kind of like a major food staple. So much in the way that some people might have been used to peanut butter and jelly, I was really used to pasta. And sometimes you go to a friend's house and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna have a really fancy dinner," and then they do pasta, and I was confused. He definitely does, really strong characters, really beefy, sometimes with, power in the pose and movement. Yeah, you might think, the one Z going from Frazetta to Frazetta is not that big a difference, but that one letter difference does make a huge difference. You know, the word for the most common pasta is one N away from being the word for penis in Italian, so you gotta be careful with those single letters. Oh, even a quote by Ray Bradbury. Speaking of which, another story about Italian. When I was there, I was speaking with a friend, and they had asked, did you ever play a musical instrument? And I had played the trumpet, and the word for trumpet in Italian is tromba. And so I said, when you convert things to verbs in Italian, which you do very frequently, depending on the last letter, you'll change it into a verb using a different combination. So tromba, I had thought you'd say trombare, so I said mi piaceva trombare. And this friend, he reacted like very surprised. He's laughing. He's like, what's so funny? And he basically explained that from what I could understand, trombare is kind of like a crude slang for intercourse. So basically what I had said is, I really like to fuck. So I don't know if any of you out there play trumpet and are learning Italian. Probably a very niche group. If you ever want to talk about it, you have to say mi piaceva suonare la tromba. I like to play the trumpet. So keep that in mind so you avoid the embarrassing moment that I ran into. I recognize this one. Death Dealer. Very ominous. A lot of people talk about, the huge contributions to fantasy art that Frazetta had. He's been, inducted into a whole bunch of Hall of Fames, won several awards. It was very interesting to read about him, getting started early in the academy. He said that his professor wasn't very pushy. He would kind of look at things and be like, that looks nice. Maybe it could be better if you did this and this. He said he actually feels like he learned a lot from the friends at the academy in terms of developing his art. Did a lot of covers. Cool stuff. I was reading that he wouldn't ever read the media he was creating covers for. He said he'd just do whatever he wanted, and he knew that what he was doing was cool and that people would like it. It was also really cool to read that at one point he had the opportunity, I think, to do a movie poster. I think it was What's New Pussycat or something like that. And that the commission for it was basically his yearly salary. And he got it all in one project that time. And it was part of, his trajectory of growth. Which, that's awesome. It's always cool to see when an artist finds success like that. You never know when it'll happen. Yeah, I think I remember my dad had done a lot of Conan studies that I saw in his family's house in Casanova. Yeah, now his family, you know, you see this Frank Frazetta Jr., they're kind of carrying on the torch. I know Sarah Frazetta, she's also, I think that's his granddaughter, has got, you know, kind of Frazetta girls. They do a lot of like merch and like really cool clothing. So maybe you'll want to check that out if you want some Frazetta stuff. Yeah, that's some of the fantastic paintings of Frazetta. The print quality was nice, book quality is nice. It's quite a big book, not too long, but you know, the actual dimensions, you know, you get to see them in pretty good size, which is cool. It looks like there's some text giving context and some history and some quotes from other people. Good stuff. If you are a Frazetta fan or you're curious about kind of the history of cover art and fantasy art, maybe comic art, it could be a cool thing to check out. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you like and subscribe. Maybe check out the Patreon, see how you can support the channel so we can keep doing this, checking out cool things and supporting other artists. I hope to see you again. Take care.
You're such a sweet